I'm Dan Ridsdale, Head of Technology at Edison, and today I'm joined by Claire Milverton and Stuart Ritchie from 1Spatial. 1Spatial are a UK AIM-listed provider of geospatial software, applications and services. The company is listed on AIM and capitalised at around £70 million. Claire, many thanks for joining me today.
Nice to be here, Dan.
So Claire, can you start by introducing 1Spatial and I guess really focusing on your core value proposition to your enterprise customers?
Yeah, so we focus on ensuring our customers have really good, accurate location data for making decisions. And these days, it's not just good enough to have your own data of a good quality, because you're having to bring lots of data sets together. So if you think about electric vehicle planning in the UK, how can you do that when all the data is sitting in all these different fragmented parts, all these different organisations across the UK? In the US, how can you do NG 911 emergency services, planning, routing, when all the data is sitting in the cities and the counties? So what we do is we bring all that data together from all these different sources and we integrate it and we make sure it's accurate. And most importantly is making sure it's up to date all the time. So there's no point in just getting this data right once. You can send data to be cleansed or offshoring, but it's a one-stop shop. You need to be able to ensure that that data is accurate all the time. And that's why our technology is so sticky. Once that technology ensured all that data is brought together in a certain way, you never want it to get dirty again. So
you've got a core technology, this this core rules engine.
Yes.
Can you discuss what that is and how that's core to your proposition?
Yes. So yes, we have one integrated. It's our patented rules engine. We've been developing that over the last sort of 15 to 20 years. And it's that together with our One Data Gateway, which is our cloud-enabled portal for bringing together different sets of data. That's really key to what we do and is really unique to our proposition. So how we manage data is all about rules. If you understand what the data should look like, what's good and what's bad, how it complies with the rule book, that is what we do. And as I said, our technology is data and system agnostic. So we can bring in data from all different sources and all different systems, and that really gives us a USP.
Thank you. And now turning towards your SaaS products, One Streetworks is the product, the application that's garnering most attention at the moment. Yes. A lot of investment. And that creates traffic management plans in the UK. Can you discuss what that product does? What is a traffic management plan? Why they're needed, and why does this product add value?
Yeah. So if you're a utility company and you need to dig up the road, you can't just dig up the road without going to the local authority with something called a traffic management plan. Now, these traffic management plans set out where you should put the cones, the traffic lights, the slowing down signs, and currently they're done on a very manual basis, very laborious, very time consuming. They could be digital, but it's very much just digital drawing. What we've done is created a way of creating these plans automatically. So it brings in data from Ordnance Survey, it combines that with the One Streetworks road rulebook, which shows you how those plans could be created. And we wrapped that in a whole system and user interface. So what that enables you to do in the matter of minutes is create a compliant traffic management plan. And this is really new to the whole arena. There's nothing like this currently.
So it's basically building on your rules engine and adding the application capability on
Correct.
top of that to automate the creation of a plan. And what is the opportunity here? I mean, how many of these things are created every year? Can you discuss
so a few years ago, there was around 2.5 million roadworks, holes dug in the UK in low-speed roads. Latest count, that is around 4 million. So you can see the dramatic increase, and for each of those you would need a traffic management plan. So for us, we're thinking this is around a 400 million market opportunity in low speed roads, and our initial plan is to go after 10% of that market, which we think is really easily achievable.
So £40 million opportunity.
Correct.
For 1Spatial.
Correct, over the next 5 years.
Great. And in terms of that pathway to getting to that 40 million target, can you discuss how you're going about addressing that market? How you've been investing in your sales team, but how should we expect that opportunity to grow for you?
Yeah, so there's some key customers within that market. So first of all, you've got the utility companies, and you'll be aware that we've just won our first landmark contract with UK Power Networks. So really important that we continue our work with them. We've only really gone into a small part of that business so far. We're expanding in the South region, and then we're looking to go into more areas of UK Power Networks. But the really critical thing that we're doing there is really building the use case and really understanding the return on investment that we're getting. So the next easy step, apart from the expansion with that account, is to go to other distribution network operators like UK Power Networks, or all the other ones in the country, National Grid, Cadent Gas. So there's lots of other DNOs, not just in the electricity network, but also in the gas. And there are other utilities, water, that will also be on that track. So after the utilities, also we've got the tier 1 companies. So there's quite an interesting ecosystem in the whole street works arena. So you have the utility companies, but they will often subcontract their works to a traffic management company or a tier 1 company. That could be, for example, Milestone or Balfour Beatty. So they would do the work on behalf of the utility company. And we see that also as a next step, and we're actively targeting those types of organisations. And the utility companies are quite regulated, so sometimes it's harder to get this is a new product to market, so there isn't an RFP out there for this. So, we have to really embed it in their organisation. These other companies, we expect that it could work quicker, so maybe not such a significant amount in the initially, but, I'm expecting a couple of 100,000 from some of these types of tier 1 organisations over the coming year if things go to plan.
Now, turning towards the US, obviously that's a market many times the size of the UK, and you've proven your ability to sell in the US.
Yeah.
But you are investing into that opportunity. Can you discuss the opportunity for you in the US and what you're doing about accelerating that growth?
Yeah, a huge opportunity in the US for us, and building on the success that we've had so far. So from an enterprise perspective, in order to scale, I think working with partners more is really important. You'll see that we've done more work with Rising in the period. They're owned by Wipro. So that really helps us get to market quicker, be a part of these bigger opportunities, more mainstream IT opportunities, where we're doing the geospatial data management. We're hiring more people in the US. I think we just need more people out there. And we're going more sector focused. So we were more geographically focused for the account executives, the sales team. We're now going to make that more sector focused. So getting that cookie cutter approach. We just won a contract with the state of Oregon in the year with our parcel solution. We think we can now take that around to the other 49 states. And we have an ambition in the US to get at least 1 million of annual recurring revenues per state. That gets us to that 50 million annual recurring revenue.
Great. And you've also got the next generation 911 product.
Yes.
And I think you launched the SaaS version of that.
That's correct.
Last year.
That's correct.
Can you discuss how that's going?
Yeah, so we've had the launch last year. We've got 5 customers using it, and they said it was really good. One of the things they said, if they had the integration with the Esri platform, that would be better. So these GIS professionals, engineering professionals, will work in their Esri GIS during the day. By using our technology, they had to come out of their system, go into our technology, and then come back in. And they said if there was a way they could stay in their Esri system, that would be better. So we've built this connector, the plug-in, so they can stay in their system and then validate their NG911 data through our SaaS solution. So we think that's we sort of taken a step back to move forward, but we want to move forward at scale. These deals are relatively small, a bit different to the streetworks, which could be significant in size for each of these utilities. So we feel this Esri integration is important in terms of scaling, and the whole distribution partnership go to market we think is the way forward on the back of this Esri integration. I've just taken on an NG911 specialist. She started actually on the 1st of May, which is really exciting. Good background in sales, good background in NG911, and also in partnerships. So really going to work with her to say, right, how can we really scale this going forward? Because we know there's a need. We know we've got a great solution. It's just like bringing that together and figuring out the right way to go in this huge market.
Claire, thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Dan.
Stuart, thanks for joining me.
Pleasure, thank you.
Can you, looking at the financials, I guess the improving quality of revenues has been a notable feature with, improving, growing recurring revenues and growing gross margins.
Sure.
Can you discuss what's driving that progression and how what should we expect of that in the future?
Yeah, so the gross margin is really as a result of the increase in the quality of the revenues. So what we can see is an increase in the term license revenue that we've been generating, and a smaller contribution from the SaaS revenue, but a decreasing amount from perpetual license sales. And that's really in line with business model and the way that we forecast the business going forward.
Right, and as the SaaS revenues grow, how would you expect the trend to go in both in terms of recurring revenues and gross margin?
Yeah, so the recurring revenues will definitely increase as a result, because they're SaaS revenues. We're looking to sign multi-year deals with these SaaS providers that Claire, I think, was talking about earlier on. In terms of the contribution to the gross margin and the EBITDA percentage, that's obviously going to increase as well, because the more that we scale the SaaS revenue up, the more impact it's going to have on gross margin percentage and EBITDA percentage. So from a margin perspective, if you look at the SaaS revenue, that goes up to about 88%. There's a certain amount that we need to pay back to Ordnance Survey as we use their technology to be able to develop our plans for 1Streetworks, for example. But as we increase that revenue beyond 10 million, that will increase the EBITDA percentage to about 60%. So the impact on the consolidated group will be impacting gross EBITDA percentage from about 16 or 17%. That should scale up to about, late 30s, early 40s. So a transformational impact.
Interesting. And right now you're investing into that opportunity,
Yes.
Both in the US, as Claire explained, and into the SaaS products.
Yes.
Can you discuss, I guess that investment program, but also how you'd expect that investment to translate into improving margins, cash flows in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no problem. So we have invested in that, and we have been investing in that for the last 5 years or so. So we've invested about £5 million into our cloud platform, 1Streetworks, NG911, effectively our cloud offering, as well as cloud enabling our existing technology, the One Integrate, One Data Gateway. So this year we're expecting another 800,000 of an investment into that platform. I suppose over the last 12 to 18 months, we've really been focusing on developing the pipeline, attending events, generating brand awareness, and now what we need to do this year is execute upon that pipeline that we've already generated, with a view to generating some revenues in FY26 and beyond. So for this financial year just gone, we generated about 200,000, and that was split between NG911 and 1Streetworks. This year, we've already seen a very significant deal, a landmark deal, if you like, with UK Power Networks, that's going to yield about 350,000 of guaranteed revenue. So that's the minimum amount of revenue we're going to generate. During the course of this year, we're looking to execute more on those deals, and as we move into FY26 and beyond, that's when we should really see some significant revenue coming through from our SaaS product base.
Great. And it's obviously a SaaS product, so I guess we're looking at ARR as a key sort of lead indicator for that product.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And as we move on and we develop more traction within this product and more momentum within the market, we'll be looking to sign multi-year deals as well, which will really lock in that annual recurring revenue.
Great. Then looking ahead, in terms of the key milestones, both across 1Streetworks and the rest of the portfolio, what are the key milestones that we should be looking for over the course of 2025, 26 to gauge that you're on track to address those huge market opportunities that Claire identified? Yeah,
for sure. So, I mean, in terms of that, as I mentioned, the last 12 to 18 months, we've really been focused on developing the brand and making sure that we develop some opportunities that we can execute upon this year. So during the course of this year, as I mentioned, in February, we signed our first deal with 1Streetworks, with UK Power Networks for 1Streetworks. As we move through the year, we'll be looking to convert some more of those opportunities into order value during the course of this year, with maybe an extended contract within UK Power Networks, maybe one of the other sectors that they operate in, maybe an additional deal, but certainly we'll be focused also on small and medium deals as well to really sort of move the product forward, develop the brands not only amongst those very large operators, but also with the wider industry too.
Stuart, many thanks for coming in, and it's great to see a company actually investing into transformational growth opportunity.
Thanks very much indeed. Thank you. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks.
Cheers.